Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and today we'll be doing a video on the general Mississippi 2019 gubernatorial election, which I'll be analyzing the candidates, which there are four of, their chances, and who I think will win. Also, who I might be supporting, though you have to wait for the conclusion to hear that. The candidates are as follows. For the Republicans, we have Tate Reeves. For the Democratic Party, we have Jim Hood. For the Constitution Party, there is Bob Higginbottom. The fourth candidate is David Singletary, who is running as an independent. We'll start with Tate Reeves and his positions. I will simply be stating candidates' positions without opinion. Tate Reeves has made no statements on the budget, environmental problems, war and peace, social security, free trade, or foreign policy. However, he does have positions on abortion, being against third-term or 15-week abortions. Now, this nuance could be offensive to both pro-life and pro-choice people. In fact, according to Reeves, he is committed to making Mississippi the safest place in America for unborn children. With regard to civil rights, Tate Reeves argues that clerks should have the right to refuse gay marriage licenses, and he backs a bill for marriage between one man and one woman. If you are gay, this is probably a negative. Others may not care. Reeves' statement forcing clerks to do gay marriage infringes on their fundamental rights to practice religion, which might appeal to the religious and the libertarians. With regards to corporations, Tate Reeves believes a government shouldn't pick winners and losers, and that if we reduce taxes and work with businesses to create more jobs, our state will improve. On tax reform, he believes that reduced taxes will help small businesses and has argued for the Sunshine Act, which is a government reform process for awarding contracts. Tate Reeves, on regards to crime, supports Blue Lives Matter and argues to strengthen public safety, more police officers in schools. He also argues for stronger measures against drugs at work. This could be a part of a larger plan to promote a family-friendly environment. This may offend pro-druggies and other more libertarian people. In regards to school, Reeves argues for public charter schools in failing districts to ensure that third-grade students are able to pass the grade. Though criticism has been levied against him that he only cares for private schools. For energy, Tate Reeves argues developing rural areas could provide energy viable resources. Tate Reeves on gun control is pro-gun rights and argues for lowering barriers to concealed carry. With regards to health care, Reeves argues for finding solutions as opposed to over-institutionalizing the mentally ill. He supports a law enforcement inquiry into immigration status. He wants to protect manufacturers from unfair union negotiation tactics. People might disagree with all of this, or agree with it, depending on their position. More controversial is his belief that prayers should exist for both state and the nation, which might offend the extreme atheists. He also argues for diverting $600 million to the Strategic Infrastructure Investment Fund. His last and least controversial position is that a proposal for a 50th anniversary book to honor Vietnam veterans. Now to the other major candidate, Democrat Jim Hood. Much like Tate Reeves, he is pro-life. Some would argue even more so. He defends the heartbeat bill and abortion ban of 15 weeks. He has stated no position on crime, energy, oil, foreign policy, free trade, jobs, homeland security, tax reform, local issues, war, peace, welfare, and poverty. Regardless, his position on abortion is much the same as Tate Reeves, except perhaps a little bit more extreme. This might offend pro-lifers and pro-choicers. With regards to civil rights, Jim Hood personally opposes gay marriage, but defends it as anti-government. He wishes to help marginalized communities like Jesus taught. This might please some, but offend the extreme atheists and pro-abortion people, but please other conservatives. With regards to corporations, Jim Hood supports watchdog action over corporate wrongdoers and criticizes tax giveaways to out-of-state corporations. For those who are Mississippi first, with regards to drugs, Jim Hood supports the act of suing opioid manufacturers for deceptive practices. In regards to education, Jim Hood supports statewide universal public pre-kindergarten programs, which teachers might support. On the environment, Hood wants to provide relief and protection after oil spills and hurricanes. Environmentalists might find him agreeable. He also wants to let same-sex couples divorce. Jim Hood is pro-gun, with guns okay on school property with the appropriate license. On government reform, he wants to apply Open Records Act to state legislative Gmail. Hood wants retired teachers to keep pensions and serve in the legislature. Teachers and government reformers might support this. On immigration, he believes it's a federal issue and wants states to stay out of the DACA fight. On healthcare, Jim Hood wants to accept federal dollars to help struggling rural hospitals and sue drug companies for overcharging Medicare. On technologies, Hood argues that we need to get back to swinging hammers and building bridges, and to put money where your mouth is on infrastructure. He wants to also focus the Attorney General's office only on crime. Now that we've gone over the two large candidates, let's go over the more obscure third-party and independent candidates. Let's start with Bob Higginbottom of the Constitution Party. Bob Higginbottom will, according to his positions, focus on fighting crime, increase school funding, and try to improve rural Mississippians' poorest towns and neighborhoods. He has also called out Republicans running in the race and Jim Hood for hiring lawyers instead of those working with the Attorney General's office, which for those who are anti-government corruption might be a boon. He supports education but is realistic and stated that not everyone is college material, which is true. Some people want to do other stuff. Also compared Hood to Jim Jones, but believes that it is imperative to go back to the Delta and ensure that the communities get the help they need. As such, he supports expanding Medicaid. To end this coverage, let me end with a quote of his. "When one Mississippi hurts, we all do," which is, I think, quite profound. The fourth and final candidate is the independent David Singletary. True to his last name, he is mostly a single-issue candidate, that being the legalization of medical marijuana. Though I don't use this stuff, as a libertarian like myself, I most likely support this, though I probably won't be voting for him, as the government shouldn't really be involved in banning stuff for adults. Kids are a different story, but adults, if they're consenting to it, let them do it. In regards to whom might win, both Jim Hood and Tate Reeves are very likely to win, as they both have moderate support. It's just too close for me to tell right now. As for Bob Higginbottom and the other guy, Singletary, I don't personally see them winning. However, due to the low popularity of both the major candidates, it is possible that Hickenbottom at least could win. I'm not sure about Singletary because, let's face it, we aren't exactly pro weed in the state. But yeah, so I think it could go either for Reeves or Hood, but I will put Hickenbottom at a close third. As for who I support Bob Hickenbottom overall the others due to his goals and lack of corruption compared to the other two candidates. Sure, he might not be as well known, but hey, I support him, and if my video gets him a few votes, then that's all I care about. And I also wanted to provide a good coverage of it because even other YouTubers from Mississippi don't really talk about this. I'm looking at you, Cult of Dusty. Anyway, that's about it. I'm the Dark Master. And remember to vote, Mississippians. We're looking out for you.